Pulse, El Paso, Uvalde. These are some of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history. They are also hateful acts impacting Latinos, with each shooter leaving clear warning signs or even manifestos that should not have been ignored.
Many people say they feel like just being Latino or an immigrant in this country means you're a target.
So how did we get here? And as some states continue to loosen gun laws and school shootings continue to rise, how do we protect our children? The United States has one of the highest gun death rates in the world, and Latinos are disproportionately affected. Per one study, an average of more than 13 Hispanics die from gun violence every day. Millions of Latinos also live in states with some of the weakest gun laws. Arizona, for example, had the highest rate of Hispanic gun homicides in 2023. According to one study, Latinos in Texas are nearly twice as likely as white residents to die from gun violence. To understand the crisis, let's look back at how gun laws have evolved since 1791. The Second Amendment, which affirms the right to bear arms, has long been at the center of the United States gun debate. But for much of history, federal gun laws were stricter than they are today, and new laws often followed national tragedies. After the bloody reign of Prohibition-era gangsters, the federal government passed its first major gun control laws, restricting machine guns and sawed-off shotguns, the favored weapons of mobsters. Decades later, the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy led to new federal laws prohibiting felons, the mentally ill, and anyone under 21 from buying guns. Then, in 1994, Congress passed a 10-year assault weapons ban, which prohibited the sale and manufacture of military-style semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity magazines. But that momentum didn't last. 5 years later, a new kind of horror unfolded. The Columbine school shooting, the first of many to be broadcast on live TV and shock the nation.
Terrified parents wait for word. SWAT teams swarm the school, looking for the living, finding the dead.
15 people died, including the two gunmen. In response, schools nationwide implemented lockdown and active shooter drills. But federal gun laws remained unchanged in the aftermath. Instead of passing stricter gun laws, the country normalized shootings as many lawmakers resisted new regulations. In 2004, the nationwide assault weapons ban expired, and since then, Congress has continuously failed to reinstate it, even as one study finds mass shooting deaths increased by 347% in the following decade. With virtually no federal action, the states were left to fend for themselves. Some tightened gun laws, while others loosened them. California, for example, has had some of the strongest gun control laws, including a statewide ban on certain assault weapons. In Connecticut, the state mandated background checks for all gun sales, among other measures, after 20 first graders were killed in the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. On the other hand, 29 states, including Arizona and Florida, home to over 8 million Latinos, allow constitutional carry, meaning most adults can carry firearms without a state permit. This is also true in Texas, even after 19 children and 2 teachers, most of them Latinos, were killed in the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde. Despite all these tragedies, only the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022 has become federal law, which among other things allocated funds for mental health services and prohibited individuals convicted of domestic violence from buying guns.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
Without stronger federal action, the U.S.'s gun violence epidemic continues. In response, some schools and parents have tried to fill the gaps, investing in bulletproof classrooms, desks, whiteboards, even hoodies, binders, and book bags.
I kind of don't feel safe going to school, and I feel hot, and sometimes at night I have nightmares too.
Not one more!
But it doesn't have to be this way. To protect the Latino community, and all communities, federal and state policymakers must take meaningful action. Other countries, like Canada, have high rates of gun ownership but far lower levels of gun violence because of reforms like mandatory safety training courses, more detailed background checks, and bans on military-style firearms. Our communities need policies that actually prevent violence so that we are not just reacting to another tragedy. Will lawmakers act before another attack on our children and our community happens again?